to pit, clean the grill. The car was a little too tight on the last run for Newman.
His stop coming at lap 138. A.J. Allmendinger, Juan Pablo Montoya, Clint Boyer, and his teammate Kevin Harvick making their stop at lap 138 as well. Back to Matt Yoakum.
And this past one, Juan Pablo Montoya told Brian Patty in the car, this run way too tight. He's been just trying to find that balance, going back and forth. They're going to make a track bar adjustment. You can see the wedge wrench in the back window making that track bar adjustment. Ralph?
Casey Kane is in. Look at the fluid spewing out of the right side of the hood of this Budweiser Ford. They've been having issues with that all day. It got as hot as 275 degrees. They got the approval for a 6-man to go over the wall, and they're going to try to do everything they can to keep this car cool, Phil.
Ralph, Greg Biffle needs to be a little bit tighter. Greg Irwin said, I think 4 tires will tighten you up a little bit, Matt.
The biggest issue for Kurt Busch, just 2 free on exit. He believes that's where the 11 of Hamlin and the 9 of Kane were beating him. Adjustments already completed. Marty?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. peeling out of his pit stall. He said, free it up just a little bit. They got it too tight that run, but he did make progress. Tony Stewart also hit pit road earlier. He was a little too tight. They made an air pressure adjustment on his car. Ralph?
The 24 of Jeff Gordon is in as well. They're going to make a 4-tire stop for Jeff this time around. No chassis adjustments for Jeff Gordon, Matt.
Number of adjustments for leader Denny Hamlin. He said he was borderline being way too free on exit out of 3 and 4. Chassis adjustments already been completed on the 11. Who's away? Marty?
Matt Chad Canals decides to make a wedge adjustment to fix those problems Jimmy Johnson talked about on the radio just a moment ago. And 4 tires, a little bit longer stop than they would like. Ahead of him on pit road, Kyle Busch said the car was way too tight at the end of that run. That's how they lost a little bit of time and fell back just a bit. They make a wedge adjustment trying to loosen up Kyle Busch's car just a little bit, guys.
Second cycle of green flag pit stops here today at Michigan. And to this point, we have not been notified by NASCAR as to any pit road speeding penalties. Matt Kenseth has inherited the race lead. He, like all the other drivers you just saw on track, last pitted at lap 100 under caution.
He's spitting water out too. I saw that lap when he went through the corner. It looks like his car's overheating a tad.
Yeah, we saw the 9 car when it came down pit road. Just seemed, you know, the way these grills work, they're up under that ledge. So a piece of trash gets up under that ledge and blocks that entrance, and it doesn't take much at all. You can see it bubbling. That's a good catch, Wally. You see it just right there, right at the back left corner, right corner of the hood there. It's just blowing out a little bit.
Kenseth going to make his pit stop at lap 142. Picked up 5 bonus points after entering the day 4th in points. Marty?
And remember, guys, all these 4 teams also running the brand new FR9 engine. A lot of steam pouring out of Kenseth's car. His car also was a little too tight. They make an air pressure and a track bar adjustment. You see it pouring out of the right front side. They are thoroughly, though, cleaning the grill to make sure they get everything off in a long stop on the left rear.
16.5 on the stopwatch for Kenseth. And here's Casey Kane. We saw him on track a moment ago.
But look at how much he's got blocked off there, Kyle. I mean, look at this big piece of red, deal that they've got blocked off there. So they're really pushing the envelope, is trying to get downforce on the front of that car, as well as not making it overheat.
And remember, this was the new engine that they thought could run a little bit more tape on it because they thought it was a 10 or 15 degrees difference in the cooling. But you saw that not only was there paper up under there were chunks of rubber that came out. So it doesn't take much. You don't have a lot of square inches anyhow. It doesn't take much to send these things over the top.
Matt Kenseth made that pit stop. Denny Hamlin back out in front of the field. 4.1 seconds his lead over second place Casey Kane.
Welcome back to NASCAR on T from Michigan International Speedway. Denny Hamlin remains the leader right now. His best finish 3rd this race last year. Let's get a quick look at our Verizon race summary. A lot of action going on the track of late. We've had 9 different leaders, 16 lead changes. You can see the average speed, 3 cautions for a total of 10 laps, 7 cars out of this race. Some cars struggling with debris. We find our Larry Mack, who is out at the test car. Larry Mack What are you cooking up out there to show us?
Well, hopefully I'm not cooking up my engine, Lindsay, but if you look right now, you put as much tape on the grill opening right here. This is the opening that sends air to cool the water in the radiator and the oil and oil cooler as well. You try to tape it up as much as possible at a track like Michigan because it helps the drag of the car, the straightaway speed, and helps that front downforce I was talking about earlier. Now what I've got here, walking through the garage area this morning, I'm taped up very similar to what I saw this morning. It's roughly about 36 square inches total, a little at the top, a little at the bottom. Now let's just say a piece of debris gets on there and blocks up about a third of that. The optimum water temperature is about 210 to 220. If about a third of this gets blocked up, it's going to raise that water temperature to about 240 or 250. When you get over 250, that's when you'll start seeing the steam come out. You've got to go in there, you've got to get this debris off. The other thing you may have to do is open up just a little bit more of that opening. And Matt Yoakum, I think Ryan Newman in the 39 car, maybe they found some debris on his opening.
Absolutely, Larry Mack. Those splitter braces, almost like a cow catcher. We see hot dog wrappers, even windshield tear-offs that end up on the front of the car. But Ryan Newman had something a little unique. Evidently, somebody did a repair job in their car, and a big hunk of aluminum hooked onto the splitter braces on the nose of that car. They brought Ryan in. His car is tight. They took that off. The car is still tight. Larry Mack, he says it feels like something may be amiss underneath. It might have damaged some of the crush panels or some of the bodywork underneath that race car.
Well, again, the splitter braces we were talking about, we talked about them a lot at Pocono last week. A lot of times these things will get damaged, but if you can follow me around here, you've got crush panels in this area right here that seals off from the front engine compartment back to the driver cockpit, and evidently that crush panel has got knocked out. We have a crush panel on the left front, the right front, and in the rear, and when that happens, you'll get all the fumes back in there to the driver, and that could really cause an issue.
Talked about Ryan Newman. He's currently 26th, and this would be a big blow for him. He entered 14th in points. He continues there right now, but he's really lost some ground to 12th place Clint Boyer. And haven't talked a lot about Boyer today. Started at the back of the field in a backup car after crashing yesterday during the happy hour session. Very quietly, Boyer has worked his way to the front. He's currently scored in the 13th position.
And I think that one statement right there, he crashes a car, they unload it, they get it ready. He's out here running. He's 13th, just as you say right now. I think that shows how far the Childress organization has come and how dedicated and committed they are to winning the championship. Because if Boyer's team can do it, the 31 team of Burton can do it, and the 29 team of Harvick can do it. These guys are going to be in the chase all year.
Allmendinger with a back end sliding around. He's 16th. Sam Hornish Jr. taking advantage here.
Okay, now I'm going to say something here.
I know what you're going to say.
That's a BS move right there by Allmendinger. Yeah. He loses ground, he gets sideways, and then he tries to block the 77. Don't block. Don't block. You're the one that almost wrecked. Yeah. Be thankful you hung on to it.
And as we watch Sam Hornish Jr., we should mention he's on a different pit cycle than those drivers around him. He last pitted at 129. If it stays green, he would have to come in before guys like Allmendinger and Kevin Harvick, who's got a little bit of a late race move going on. This is his time of the day, Kyle.
This is his time of the day when he gets back in it. And let me be clear, I defended Allmendinger's block last week, okay, because it was a green-white checkered. It was at the end of the race. I'm committed to that block. This block with what? 45, 46 laps to go for 17th or 18th position? That's not racing, okay, that in my opinion.
Allmendinger right now in the 16th position. That's Harvick on the outside of him, and just behind him, Hornish, Rudeman, and others. In fact, Marcus Ambrose back in the top 20 as Harvick completes the pass around Allmendinger. Ambrose, who spun early in this race, went a lap down, got the free pass, and has been running as high as the top 15, and right now being scored in 20th. There's Kyle Busch in 11th. Last time around, problems for him. Watch him right behind Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah, I think that's another one of those deals where we saw earlier. When you get up behind a car coming off the corner, your car actually loses downforce because of all that big drag on the car in front of you. And the car actually slides. It's just like Larry said earlier, it's like somebody picks up the front of the car and you just lose the grip of the front tires.
So Kyle Busch has a few items to sort through as we close on the end of this event. 44 laps to go, and it's his teammate Denny Hamlin who continues to dominate here at Michigan.